Trillion-dollar tech companies are no longer just building apps and cloud services. They are quietly becoming the most powerful private utility empires in history. In the last few months alone, Amazon and Microsoft executed moves that have fundamentally shattered the century-old American utility monopoly model. This isn't hype. This is the biggest energy shift since the invention of the steam engine. Today, we're breaking down exactly how AI is forcing a full-scale American nuclear renaissance. First bombshell. Amazon Web Services purchased a massive data center campus in Pennsylvania that is physically wired straight into the 2.5 gigawatt Susquehanna nuclear power plant. Then Microsoft dropped an even bigger headline, signing a 20-year power purchase agreement to restart Unit 1 of the infamous 3 Mile Island nuclear facility. For decades, big tech satisfied their climate goals by purchasing renewable energy credits from faraway solar and wind farms. Those days are officially over. AI data centers don't run on green credits on a spreadsheet. They run on raw, uninterrupted, physics-grade electricity. These facilities are power-hungry monsters. A single frontier AI training cluster can consume hundreds of megawatts continuously, more than many small cities. Training and running modern AI models is an extremely delicate process. Even a fraction of a second of power fluctuation or voltage sag can corrupt weeks or months of expensive training runs. Engineers call this requirement 5 nines reliability. 99.999% uptime, 24/7, 365. That's less than 5.26 minutes of downtime per year. Wind and solar, even when backed by enormous battery farms, simply cannot deliver this kind of rock-solid baseload power. Batteries can help for a few hours, but they cannot sustain a gigawatt-scale draw through a multi-day winter storm when the wind stops blowing and the sun doesn't shine. Nuclear fission stands alone as the only carbon-free technology capable of delivering massive grid inertia and relentless baseload power at this scale. A single uranium fuel pellet, the size of your fingertip, contains the energy equivalent of 149 gallons of oil or an entire ton of coal. The energy density is simply unmatched. Faced with 8 to 10-year delays in the interconnection queue and a dangerously fragile public grid, big tech has found the perfect workaround: behind-the-meter connections. They build or acquire data centers directly next to existing nuclear plants and take the power before it ever touches the public transmission grid. This completely bypasses multi-million-dollar transmission upgrades, FERC queues, and utility gatekeepers. Local utilities are left powerless, literally, to stop them. This is the ultimate infrastructure hack of the 21st century. So if nuclear is so perfect, why hasn't America built new plants in decades? Look at Plant Vogtle in Georgia, the only new large nuclear project completed in recent US history. Originally budgeted at $14 billion with a few years timeline, it ultimately cost over $30 billion and took more than a decade to finish. Traditionally, gigawatt-scale reactors are not standardized. They are one-off, bespoke mega-projects. Every single valve, every mile of piping, every cubic yard of concrete is custom-built on site, under the most intense regulatory scrutiny on Earth. A single failed weld inspection can halt construction for months. Supply chain delays pile up. Interest on massive debt compounds. The financial risk is so extreme that Wall Street calls these bet-the-company projects. This is where everything changes. Small modular reactors, SMRs, represent a revolutionary shift, not in nuclear physics, but in manufacturing and civil engineering. Instead of building giant custom plants, SMRs produce 50 to 300 megawatts per module in controlled factory settings. These modules are built like industrial appliances, high quality, standardized, and repeatable. Once completed, they're shipped by rail or truck and installed on pre-prepared sites. Need 600 megawatts for your AI campus? Just order 4 150 megawatt SMRs and plug them in side by side like Lego blocks. Bill Gates' TerraPower, along with major private equity infrastructure funds and other innovators, are pouring billions into commercializing this technology. The capital expenditure risk drops dramatically. You're no longer betting $30 billion on a 15-year timeline. You're buying proven factory-built power modules. We are now witnessing the fracturing of the traditional public utility monopoly. As the American power grid struggles with regulatory delays, supply shortages, and aging infrastructure, the entities with the deepest pockets are simply opting out. Big tech is transforming from software companies into full-spectrum energy conglomerates, building private, highly secure, carbon-free power islands that are immune to public grid failures. The commodity of the future is no longer just data. It is the physical, reliable, carbon-free baseload electricity required to generate and serve that data. This trend has massive implications. Energy geopolitics will shift, national grid reliability debates will intensify, new regulatory battles between big tech and traditional utilities are coming. The companies that secure reliable power first will dominate the AI race. The nuclear renaissance isn't being led by governments this time. It's being driven by market forces and the insatiable power demands of artificial intelligence. Which company do you think will build the most powerful private energy empire? Amazon, Microsoft, Google, or someone else? Drop your predictions in the comments. If you want to stay ahead of these massive capital rotations and infrastructure shifts that will define the next decade, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. We'll continue tracking this story week after week. Until next time, this is USA Grid Mechanics, helping you understand the physical infrastructure that dictates our technological future.